But then you have moments where she wakes up. Like, when you just wake up, the first thing you're going to do is be like, yeah, rock and roll concert, baby. Woo! Oh, I'm strumming my pillow like a guitar. It's like, it's all just stupid.
All I can say is, I guess you don't know women as well as you think you do. Because we do that sometimes. Sometimes we dance crazy.
Look.
We put a song on and we just go crazy.
Everyone knows this about me. I've been with a lot of women. Nobody,
you know women.
Nobody knows women like I know women.
I don't know if I have been as nervous for a film since we did, I don't know, Goonies?
What are you nervous about?
Notting Hill, maybe?
Are you nervous about yourself, or you were nervous about me?
Yes.
What are you
Goonies,
nervous
I was
about?
nervous about me.
Uh-huh.
And Notting Hill, it was both of us. I feel like this is more of a Notting Hill situation where we're about to drop some tough love on this film.
Here's what I'll say.
Are we not?
If people were offended by Notting Hill, you're going to hate me after this one.
Are you going to hold anything back?
No.
You're not even going to be polite about it?
I'm not even going to be nice about
Oh,
it.
no.
No, I'll be nice about it. People I really, really love, like with my whole heart,
Same.
love this movie. And I want them to know, before we get into it, I love you. I love you. And this film and your love for it is no reflection on how I think about you. And you can love it, and I'm glad you have a great experience with it. But it's time. Activate destroyer mode. Destroyer mode online. You're going to get some tirades today. If you enjoy tirades, if you enjoy the Rings of Power tirade, if you enjoy just the things that come out every once in a while where I get on a roll, you're going to hear it a couple times today, I have a feeling. I feel it in my bones. But what about you? I told Rach, I was like, I'm afraid that you're going to be too nice. That you're going to be like, well, it's not like, try to do something, like sometimes you try to balance it out. And sometimes I want you to, I know the fury is in your heart too. Yeah. And I want you to jump on board.
What I will say to you is what my 5th grade teacher said to me is that we have to worry about ourselves. We can't worry about everybody else. We can only control us.
Yeah.
And so don't waste any energy worrying about me. You just worry about yourself.
Wait, okay. Okay, but you're taking that because I think you're going to be censoring yourself because you're worried about other people. And so according to your 5th grade teacher, she would say, Rach, say what you want to say. Don't worry about other people.
I'm going to say what I want to say, but you need to know that I might not say what you want me to say. So
what you say?
Oh, good. Little Imogen Heap.
Yeah.
Well, she was in this several times.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
her music. It took us right back. 2006.
Yes, of course you did.
If you haven't looked at your phone or whatever you listen to podcasts on to see what you're listening to, we're going to talk about The Holiday, 2006, the rom-com.
It's good to know it's
classic.
2006. I didn't know when this was. I was like, Jude Law still has hair. So I was like, it's before 2010-ish, I think.
He has the sharpest little widow peak there ever was now.
Yeah, and you know it's coming. When you see his hair, it's tough in this movie because you're like, I know what's ahead for you.
And it's not that he couldn't have slowed it down.
He could have Steve Carell, Michael off Office, Steve Carell.
Okay. I was like, yeah, what are you saying?
Could have Steve Carell'd it, where all of a sudden he has a beautiful head of hair, and we didn't even notice. We're like, wait, what? But
it's complicated because I think everybody deserves to age how they wish to.
Absolutely.
And I know for men that's an extra sensitive spot, but man, boy could deal with just a little bit more of a straighter hairline because it just dives straight back.
I won't be afraid to say right now that at some point in my life when I have money, and it's not going to happen, but let's pretend there's a world where I have money, that there might be a summer where you're like, oh, I haven't seen Ty for a couple months. And then the next time you see me, a couple spots are maybe a little thinning. Might look lush and beautiful. And I'll just say that right out loud. Like, I'm probably going to do that at some point. And so everybody better buckle up for the ride of their lives.
To each their own.
Yeah.
But yes.
I'm going to Michael Steve Carell it.
Very good. No, he is a cutie patootie in
Jude
this.
Law
though.
looks
my.
amazing.
I think this is peak Jude Law
I
for
think
me.
you're right.
I don't know about everyone else in the world. If we can all just agree on that same page, let's focus on what we have in common versus what divides us. And what we have in common is how cute Jude Law is in this.
Jude is looking fine as can be. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you because even when he's younger in like the early 2000s or late 90s, he's not as hot as this.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit more too boyish.
Yeah.
Like, he's a man.
He filled out. Yeah, you see him with his shirt off, and it is pretty good.
So 2006, the first time I saw this film, I was probably in college, would we say? I don't remember if I saw it right away when it came out in college or if it wasn't until grad school. I didn't see it in the theaters. I know that. So I don't have a really strong memory of the first time seeing it, but I do remember being like, yeah, that's okay.
Even when you first saw it in 2006, 2007, that's amazing because this seems like something that you would have loved back in the day. I don't mean that judgmentally.
Yeah, I know you didn't mean it that way.
I know it came across that way.
It's okay.
That's
fine.
I didn't mean that. I take it back.
Permission to start over.
First draft. Second draft. Oh, cool.
What was the first time you saw this?
I saw this 2 years ago at Heister Camp Family Christmas.
Oh, that
it got
was the
thrown
first
on.
time. That's right.
I'd never seen it. Yep.
Okay. We were at the cabin?
We were at the cabin.
Okay.
So maybe it was 3 years ago. 2 or 3. But yeah, that was my first experience with it. I remember thinking at the time, so this is the holiday, huh? This is what everybody's been talking about for the last 20 almost years. This is a beloved movie.
Yes.
This
a
movie.
lot of people love this movie.
And Family Stone. Oh, Family Stoners, don't worry. I'll come for you down the road. If you love Family Stone, you're going to hear about that another day because I've got words for you.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, but yeah, I guess we don't have to get into your first thoughts since it was just so fresh and not too long ago. Maybe we'll just save that, and that will obviously dissolve as we speak of it.
My opinion on the holiday changed 0% from what it did the first time.
Okay.
I had an initial reaction to it, and then this just was like, solidified.
Yeah. For me, this
no changes.
Second or third watch for me was a good way to fine-tune the parts that I like and the parts that I'm like, ooh, I can see where, for me, this is where this took a step wrong, or what would have made this better.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Ty, can you give us just like a quick little synopsis?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so imagine this. Put yourself into these shoes.
Well, I'm waiting.
Kate Winslet is a British writer?
She's like an editor.
Editor, okay. Same thing as her brother, which is kind of weird that they both do the same job. And Jude Law is her brother. They're obviously English. They're British. And then there is, on the other side of the world, there is Cameron Diaz, who makes film trailers and does like production advertising. And then Jack Black, who is like a musician, score creator for different things. And so you have 2 people from LA, 2 people from England, and Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz are like, I'm sick of my life. What do you think? We want to trade houses? They find each other online through a bunch of bullshit, and then they're like, hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's trade houses. So they trade positions, and then we get to see them like in their new worlds. And they're both depressed because of boy problems. Cameron Diaz's boyfriend, almost fiance, feels like, is cheated on her with his secretary. And then Kate Blanchett's love of her life just got engaged to another girl. And it looks like it's never going to work out between them. And then calamity ensues.
A lot of calamity?
Lots of it.
All the calamity.
All the calamity you can imagine. But it pretty much like when Kate Blanchett's over in L.A., she meets Jack Black's character, who's friends with Cameron Diaz's ex-boyfriend. And then while Cameron Diaz is over in England, she meets Jude Law, who is Kate Winslet's brother. So that's how they kind of get together. There's like
easy as
a
pie.
link. Yep.
There it is. Done.
Done.
Done
What's
and
done
done.
is done.
The holiday.
I can't believe you've had sex with Amanda. She's been there 5 days. And then you meet her and immediately get into her knickers.
Still me.
Questions? No, we're
Hopefully
not.
not.
We're not taking questions yet.
I'll be honest, you know exactly where the plot's going. Right when they
Yes.
put their houses on the market, you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, from beginning
Because
to
I
end.
know Jude Law is British, and so when she comes over here, she's going to run into him. I didn't know that was her brother the first time
So
I
there
watched
was
it.
one surprise.
Well, that's a tiniest of surprises.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Director and writer, the one, the only, Nancy Myers.
Nancy Myers.
Nancy Myers is in the house.
And the worst written Nancy Myers I've seen. so
yeah,
far.
not your favorite Nancy Myers writing?
Atrocious writing. The writing is abominable.
Oh, abominable.
Abominable. They tell, don't show anything.
Okay.
It's like, let me tell you about all my problems I've ever had. And so you could just know about what's going on. And they do it right off the bat when you meet each of the women. It's like they have a conversation that lasts about 3 pages too long between two people as they just share all the problems that they have in the world. Rather than slowly letting these problems seep out. And instead it's like, I'm going to set you up with every little problem I've ever had in my entire life through a conversation with a friend. Or with my boyfriend or whatever. It's it's stupid. It's a stupid way of storytelling. It's lazy. And yeah, it's abominable. And some of the dialogue, atrocious.
Nancy
Atrosh
Myers,
City.
lazy.
Nancy Myers, you were lazy on this one.
Now, we get into a lot of Nancy Myers' backstory. If you go back to our episode, Something's Gotta Give.
Which I loved. 70%er, if I
really?
recall. Yeah, I had it higher than you did.
I think you did.
I thought it was pretty good.
That's pretty weird. But just a quick recap, just for those who are like, "Oh, Nancy Myers, isn't she?" Yes, she's the queen of the interior, the queen of making that cottage core, coastal grandma vibe.
Coastal grandma.
She was a screenwriter for Father of the Bride, and then director debut for Parent Trap, the '98 version, which is Chef's Kiss. So good. Directed What Women Want, Something's Gotta Give, The Holiday, It's Complicated, The Intern. Those are all of her things. I feel like it's taking a deep dive.
It is. As you went through that list, I was like, that's good. Oh, that's a great film too. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's okay. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, it kind of for me, it definitely falls off. They're not getting better. The interiors look amazing still, I would say.
Yeah, yep.
She knows how to set dress, or at least direct a set dress. She gets that.
Wasn't that a thing? Didn't we talk about that in Something's Gotta Give? It's she feels like the set decor is almost like a character in her movies, and it's that important. You got to spend that much time on development of it because it's so important in setting the tone for everything.
And I think honestly, if I was gonna guess at one of the things that people love about this is it sets a tone. When you think about the English cottage, when you think about the LA California house, I think she kind of encompasses those places pretty well, or gives you the warm and fuzzies that you're going to feel in both of those spots. She makes LA and old Hollywood seem a lot less trashy than
she
I think
also
it
lies
is.
a lot about old Hollywood.
Well, if you've been to Hollywood recently, and we have, we can
I'm
say...
going to get pretentious for a second. As a media and cinema studies minor, there is history that is brought up in this movie that is bullshit. I'm like,
you can
what
just
are
say
you
it's
talking
not
about?
true. You don't have to name drop what you're studying.
No, I do. To be extra pretentious about it. I have
You
to.
don't have to list your credentials.
Yeah, I do.
We believe you, Ty. Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to all of that. So when writing the script, she did have Cameron Diaz in mind. She thinks she's kind of the ultimate Cali girl, and she loves her physical comedy. Ty, notes on Cameron Diaz's physical comedy? Do you also love said comedy?
How do I do this without being the biggest prick on the planet?
We got time, baby. We got time. Maybe
So-
just start it. Ease it into it.
Okay. No, I don't like it.
Full stop.
I think Cameron Diaz is a bad actress.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been impressed with her ever, besides maybe in The Mask.
I liked her in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah, she's good in that,
Mm-hmm.
because she's very controlled. She is really good in that, actually. she's just not a good actress. I've seen her in a lot of things. And is this her worst performance? No, Bad Teacher would take the cake for that. Bad Teacher is absolutely another abominable movie.
I've not had the pleasure. Maybe you can summer's off it.
It is so bad. She gives her bra, I think, to the student in that movie as like, you're a good kid. Here, take a bra, and that will make you cool. You'll be cool with all your friends because you have my bra.
Oh, that's just fun, Ty. That's just good fun.
No, it's not. It's atrocity. So, anyways, I despise Cameron Diaz as an actress. I literally wrote at one point while we were watching this is a 1 out of 10 performance. I hope she was nominated for a Razzie, and I would have given her the award. And I probably would have given her a Lifetime Achievement Award for Razzies as well. I think there's not like any truth to her performance. If you want to see, so here's the problem. You have to juxtapose her performance with Kate Winslet. You have to. It's what the movie's about. The movie's about these two women switching spots.
You can't not help but compare them, right?
And so if we're talking about, you shouldn't compare women. Guess what? We have to compare them in this situation. It's just a necessity.
You're comparing storytellers. You got two stories going on. What are the stories?
And so when I watched Kate Winslet, who I think is creme de la creme for actresses, one of the best actresses on the planet, and even though I don't like this is one of my least liked performances of her.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is dependent on the script and the things that they made her do that I just thought, like, this is stupid. Why are you making Kate Winslet do this? She can act circles around your script if you just give her the opportunity to and you set her up. She'll spike it every time. But even so, you're watching a master of acting, somebody I think is better than Meryl Streep. I believe that. I believe Kate Winslet
time may show that,
is better than Meryl Streep. So that's how much I love Kate.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching her act on the opposite side against Cameron Diaz, who is one of the worst actresses on the planet. It is startling, the differences between their choices, between the amount of truth in their performances, and between, like, when Cameron Diaz makes a decision, it just is based off of nothing. It's air. It's just bullshit air. And when Kate Winslet makes a choice, she's trying to turn chicken shit into chicken salad. And she can't always do it. But every once in a while, you're like, oh, is that chicken salad? No, that is still chicken shit. But man, that looks much better than it did. So that's the difference between the two actresses.
Well, good news is that the script was also written with Kate Winslet in mind. So Nancy Meyers likes to say that some people are like, oh, no, I never think about who I'm writing when I'm writing. I just write the characters. And she says, no, that's bullshit. Like, I pick out Hollywood people who I think, and that just helps channel me into the writing, the molto bueno writing in this.
Very good.
Yeah, because at that point, especially Kate Winslet was, when you think of an English woman who's in her 30s, who are you going to call? Kate Winslet.
Yeah, it's like her or Kate Blanchett. Those are you have to call the Kates.
Call the Kates.
So I don't know if you know this, but like from a Hollywood standpoint, Meryl Streep, they thought her career, like the studio heads and stuff, thought her career was pretty much going to be over before Devil Wears Prada.
Oh.
Like she was kind of on a downward trend, going to do a movie every once in a while, but be more of a supporting player. And kind of her days as a lead were coming to an end for the most part, except for like a couple movies she was maybe going to pop out. And they thought the two women were going to inherit the industry on the female side. And they were the Kates. It was Blanchett versus Winslet. And that they were kind of propping them up to take over the mantle. But then Meryl had that resurgence in like the mid-2000s, and all of a sudden she was like, nope, I'm still around, bitches. And she was just like, Oscar, 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 Oscar.
I still act.
And so she kind of changed the industry, and they were like, the studio was kind of shocked by it, like, oh shit. We still got...
Oh, we wrote a story with like a 50-year-old woman in it, and people are coming to see it.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
We still got Meryl.
She's 60 now, and people are still watching her. It's disgusting, but, there it is.
Yep. And so, and then Kate Winslet kind of went this like indie film route, where she was doing a lot of like more, I don't know, like out of the mainstream films. And so Blanchett was kind of like set up to be like the younger Meryl, but then they just always had Meryl still. And so she just became this really great actress who was rising up around the same time, and Winslet kind of fell off for a while, and then was like kind of reintroduced like in the last 10 or so years.
Well, you can say fell off, but a part of it was very intentional on Winslet's part. Like
you
said, like she went the indie route, but chose the indie route. She
Yep.
got offered a lot of large roles, but she didn't want to go that route in her career. She didn't want to be pigeonholed into this epic movie person with these roles of women that were like,
Kind of like Oscar baity movies.
Yeah, that, but also like big blockbustery things. Like she didn't want to be like the token woman in the film that gets nommed, but she doesn't get nommed, right? I'm going to jump to Kate a little bit, and then we'll come back to talk about more film stuff, but just because we're talking about her. So both of her parents were stage actors. She has been nommed how many times for an Oscar, Ty?
I'm going to say 9.
Close. 7.
Oh, okay.
7 times. She won once for The Reader in 2008.
Yep.
I've never seen it. That was before
I
watched
I
Oscar
couldn't
movies.
tell you anything about it.
So she won for that. But the first time she was nominated was Sense and Sensibility, which was, as we know, Emma Thompson's great masterpiece creating
It's a
that.
pretty good movie. If you haven't seen Sense and Sensibility, I actually think it's pretty well done.
Yeah, and she's really lovely in it,
Yep.
too. She's just, the bouncy little curly hair is perfect. Perfect little younger sister. At that point, too, she was nominated 4 times before she was 29 years old.
Wow.
So she, I think, held the record for the youngest actress to ever be nominated that many times.
Sure.
That makes sense. She's 1 away from being an EGOT.
She needs a Tony?
She needs a Tony.
She'll get one.
Don't
She
you
just has to
think?
choose to go to Broadway, and she'll get one.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak because, sometimes film acting obviously is not theater or stage acting,
No,
but I think she'll be
translate.
okay, right? Don't
she'll
you
be
think?
she'll be absolutely fine.
She'll think so.
totally translate. She needs to do like what Meryl did. She did Mother Courage, I think, to get her Tony. Maybe she did something before that, but she'll be able to make that happen. She just needs to pick like a classic to revive.
Yeah.
And then she'll have it.
Sure. I mean, I think about like all the Shakespeare that she did early on.
Yeah,
She was
yep.
Ophelia. She
Mhm.
just had a
Yep.
lot of good stage chops there. Her Grammy was actually for Best Spoken Word Album for Children called "Listen to the Storyteller." So there you go. You don't know how the heck am I going to get a Grammy? Go read a book. Go read a book out loud and do a good job with it. Get your Grammy. One of the things that I love and really respect about Kate Winslet is she is all about aging naturally and gracefully. And obviously, when you got good genes like her, it works.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. Yep.
But she and several other actresses started the British Anti-Cosmetic Surgery League. So it's her, Emma Thompson, and Rachel Weisz are some of the 3 founding members of this
all people
club.
have aged very gracefully.
I know, right? It's like it's hard to like critique it because part of me is like, you do what makes you happy. You want to do that, that's fine. You want to have the new Mar-a-Lago face, you can do that. You pump it up, get all the fillers you want. That's what they're calling it now.
Mar-a-Lago
the Mar-a-Lago
face.
face,
It's
and I
so great.
love it. But yeah, you're spot on in that the women that I listed, like, oh, these are all beautiful women, and time is kind.
Time has been very kind to all 3 of them.
Time has been very kind. But another thing that she does too is when magazines have her on the cover or when she's in ads, she doesn't allow the advertisers or the magazines to smooth out any of her wrinkles. They might have to do
gotcha.
like some touching and stuff, but she's like, don't touch my wrinkles. All of those, that needs to stay in there because that's who I am. I'm a middle-aged woman.
Sure.
So then that's who you hired.
Cool.
So I love that. I think she
that's
kind of
awesome.
like really pushes that gate forward. Fun fact, she can hold her breath for 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Now, why would she need to do that, Ty? Do you remember anything in her history that she had to do?
In Titanic?
Not in Titanic, but close in the scale and in the director that she worked with. This is maybe one of the things I would say be a misstep in her career. Not from a
Yeah.
money standpoint, because she made out
She made a
big.
ton of money, but she had a major failing of a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Most people wouldn't think it's a major failing, but when Cameron comes a-coming, you have to say, yeah, I'll do whatever you want,
What'd
sir.
she do? What'd she do with
What'd
him?
she do? Well, it wasn't the first of these. It was the second of these. And we did see it in the theater, and I don't think we saw it in 3D. She was blue. She was a lot of CGI.
Avatar?
Yeah, Avatar 2, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a huge misstep. God, Avatar 2 sucked. So, not a good movie at all. I don't know how it got nominated for an Oscar. I was like, just wanted to blow my brains out the whole time I watched that. Rach went to the bat. It was so funny. There's this whole sequence where the bad guys are trying to capture a whale, and Rach goes to the bathroom, and she's gone for like a good 5 minutes. She's probably squeezing off a poop or something.
Okay. Whoa.
But she comes,
False.
back in, and she goes, "Oh my God, they're still trying to capture that whale?" I was like, "Yeah, it's been going on for like fucking 10 minutes."
That's right. I remember that.
That's Avatar 2 for you. Wasted
And
time.
scene.
So it makes sense
2.
that they're like, hey, Kate, could you keep your, can you hold your breath for another 7 minutes, please?
7 minutes is a crazy amount of time.
Insane. I don't think I can hold it for 2 minutes.
Well, now you can't. But like she says, it's not something that you can do just right away. Like you have to like coach your body to like need less oxygen. Like it takes time to learn how to do that.
That's what Batman does.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, he
Very
like
cool.
trains.
Well, there's science behind it. I want to say that somebody on that cast, when they were all like sharing like how long they could all go, it sounds bad. Somebody was like maybe 14 minutes. I thought like God, I'd be dead. Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't believe
know. Maybe I misread that.
That's crazy.
Other fun little tidbits. She's been married 3 times. One of those times, she was married to Sam Mendes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Did they ever collab while they were married?
He's
such a great director.
Right? Or how did they meet? Did they meet doing something like that?
If you don't know who Sam Mendes is, he did 1917. He's done a lot of things. Gravity?
I don't remember. Maybe. That sounds right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you can look that up while I tell you this next thing because you're not going to like it. So at one of her other weddings, this was a secret wedding that she had to a man named Ned Rock and Roll.
What a name.
Yeah, rock and roll is one word. Leo gave her away at that wedding.
Oh, but that's fine because they did their stuff together.
I know,
I
but
understand it.
you were trying to convince me earlier that Leo was not a heartthrob. Don't you remember that?
Oh my gosh,
Just
that's
like
right.
2 hours before
Number
this.
1, I just want to clarify. American Beauty was Sam Mendes. The Skyfall, like several of the James Bond movies.
Oh, okay.
Were Sam Mendes. I don't see Gravity here. That must be somebody else. So I gave
Apologies
him
to them.
Apologize to the director of Gravity. Yeah. So I was trying to convince Rach that Leo's not as hot as everybody makes him out to be.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, he's just a short.
I was like, he's like a weasel.
Guy.
He's like a meerkat. I called him a meerkat. He had good hair as like a kid, but he was like a little weaselly, skinny little meerkat kid.
Yeah, we got on the subject because you were reading Great Gatsby right now, and we were talking about the casting of the movie and how he's Gatsby in it. And you're like, he would be terrible because he's short and squatty and unattractive. And I was just like listening to like, yeah, tell me more about.
I was really working hard trying to convince her. Like, it needs to be like a Brad Pitt. She was like, Robert Redford played. I was like, that's perfect. But I just could not get on board with Leo being the character. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. And I stand by it. Like, Gatsby, I in the other movie with Paul Rudd, it's played by Patrick Wilson. I like see it as more of like that kind of person, not a Leo. Leo's too short. He's too like, there's nothing enthralling physically about him. Like, he's just a short little meerkat. And so,
you keep going the animal route. I don't know if it's helpful. But,
I want like a lion or like a bear of some sort.
A bear.
Something in the cat family, maybe.
Well, obviously, as we all know, the two of them are very close.
Yeah, he gave her his book of boobs.
What?
His notebook of boobs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, in Titanic, sure.
Yeah, Titanic.
Yeah, his drawings.
Yeah, that book of boobs. He shows her. He's like, hey, check this out.
Hey, check it out.
Look at all these cool drawings I've been doing.
But after they did, what was their second film? That Road to
Perdition.
After they did
Or is
that. No, that's a different
Road
thing.
to Revolution or something?
Revolutionary Road. There we go. We got there.
Actually, I've never
Stick
seen
with
that
us.
movie.
I've neither either. He gave her a ring after they filmed that together, and in it is an inscription, but it's a secret inscription.
We don't know. We still don't know.
No,
nobody's like,
it's a secret. Nobody knows.
Nobody's
it's
just
just
like
between the two of them.
Put her in an arm bar and be like, give me that ring.
Which is interesting
What's
because
in the inside?
I want to say that her husband directed Revolutionary Road. I remember an interview with her, and I don't know which
the rock
of these.
and roll guy.
I don't know. Or
Maybe it was
Sam
Mendes.
Maybe that's what we're talking about. Because I remember her talking in an interview how it was interesting, like he would be directing Leo, like, yeah, grab her thigh like that. And, she just thought, like, oh, that's my husband. So, anyways,
That's crazy.
maybe I made this interview up in my head, or maybe not.
He did it.
He did it?
That was Sam Mendes.
Bingo.
Revolutionary Road.
Hey-o.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah,
he
Ben.
also directed Road to Perdition.
Oh. No
Just
way.
to throw that out there.
Hey, you want to know who else was in Road to Perdition?
Leo.
Jude Law.
Oh.
Can I get a segue?
Wow,
segue.
that's wild.
Actually, one more thing about Kate before I segue.
Hey, did we get a lot of facts about Cameron Diaz, or did I make you skip Cameron?
No, I'll come back to Cameron.
Oh, okay.
I want to remind you that we have spent time talking about Cameron. We talked about her. If you would like to tune in back to my best friend's wedding episode, we talk about her in great length. So I'm going to skim a little bit.
Yep,
when we get there.
Good. That's good. And I bet I was
As a
way more
refresher.
positive about her as an actress back then too.
I think in that you were. Yes. I think so too.
Okay. To Jude.
One more thing about Kate, though, before I move on. So, The Holiday was one of the first times she had a contemporary film again that she got to use her own accent.
Oh.
And so she said it was really challenging, especially when she was doing all of the American scenes. She would keep flipping into her American accent.
Sure.
Because she's not used to talking like herself in a contemporary sense.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Kate, we love you, Kate.
We love you, Kate.
Anytime you want to come on and just chat us up, we love you to pieces.
Yeah, well,
You're
she's
amazing.
like, yeah, so my first question is, Ty, why were you so mean to my friend Cameron? It's like, fuck.
She's very sweet when she talks about the cast.
I
so.
bet.
Yeah, she's a good person.
I know it's hard to believe people when they say, I know how you feel. But I actually know how you feel. You see, I was, seeing someone back in London. We worked for the same newspaper. And then I found out that he was also seeing this other girl, Sarah, from the circulation department on the 19th floor. Turned out that he wasn't in love with me, like I thought. What I'm trying to say is I understand feeling as small and as insignificant as humanly possible. And how it can actually ache in places that you didn't know you had inside you. And it doesn't matter how many new haircuts you get, or gyms you join, or how many glasses of Chardonnay you drink with your girlfriends. You still go to bed every night going over every detail and wonder what you did wrong, or how you could have misunderstood. And how in the hell, for that brief moment, you could think that you were that happy. And sometimes you can even convince yourself that he'll see the light and show up at your door. And after all that, however long all that may be, you'll go somewhere new. And you'll meet people who make you feel worthwhile again. And little pieces of your soul will finally come back. And all that fuzzy stuff, those years of your life that you wasted, that will eventually begin to fade.
Jude Law, who I would say is, and you can bash all you want, I think he's one of the highlights of this film as far as acting. I think he's one of the most grounded people, and I love Kate, put that aside. I think he's the most grounded actor in this film.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Do you agree?
I thought that Jude was tremendous.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Jude do anything that I didn't like.
Never?
I don't think so. Nothing that comes to mind. I think Jude's tremendous.
You
as
love
an
his
actor.
Dumbledore?
Yeah, I do.
Nah, I don't have an issue. I'm just trying to bait you.
Those movies are not good, but Jude is not the reason. Jude works his ass off. I think it's compelling performances across the board. No, Jude is great. I love him as an actor. I think he captures subtlety and honesty in such like a easy way, and he's charismatic. You can't really like turn your eye away when he's acting, and so like he's a wonderful actor. I wrote, the Brits are dancing circles around the Americans in this movie.
They are. We're getting our asses handed to us.
Well, but the problem is who they picked, because we'll get to Jack Black.
Why was Cameron Diaz our fighter?
Yeah. Cameron Diaz is not who we put up to bat.
Well, someone did.
Yeah. That was a major mistake.
Oh, I see you have got Kate Winslet. Well, I'm going to raise you Cameron Diaz,
You know-
2006. Cameron Diaz.
What I wonder, sometimes you do this where you just like throw a fight. You're like, we're never gonna win this one. Like if you're thinking about a battle between like different, it's like a tournament style. You know, you're like Brits versus Americans.
Yeah, I just
They
see
do
them
this
kind of
in
like
golf.
hovering in place like a video game,
Like
just
Mortal
like
Kombat,
getting ready
yeah.
to just
Sometimes
like
you're just like, hey,
pounce.
we're not gonna win against Winslet. Just throw Diaz at her.
Sorry, we
like
can
just
we
give
can
her
lose
a
Diaz. Throw her.
flawless victory for
Yeah.
Kate Winslet.
Flawless.
Fatality. Rip her head off.
It's so good. So this was one of the first rom-coms that Jude Law did. In fact, he had to actually read with Nancy to kind of help her see him in this role.
So she didn't write it for Jude?
She did not write it for Jude. The
Oh, okay.
boys did not get it written for them.
Oh, okay, just the gals.
Just the gals. Just the gals.
I wonder. I was gonna say. I wonder who she was thinking. Like Clive Owen. Like trying to think of big people around 2005-ish.
Sure. Yeah, who would be
Brits. Like I wonder-
charming Brit
yeah.
Brit boys around the time? Clive Owen's a good guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Colin Firth, but he's kind of a little bit older though. He's just not like a younger brother
Yeah,
type to Kate
yep.
Winslet. So age-wise, it worked out perfectly. No
Yeah,
notes.
I think so too.
He did on set though needed reminder smiles. Smile reminders. There we go.
Because he was too serious.
Because he was too brooding.
Oh.
She's like, because he just was, yeah, because he was too serious. It's not something he's used to. She's like, hey, don't forget to smile a little bit more. Like,
Okay.
which totally works because
Yeah.
some of the scenes that like are most swoon worthy are when he smiles at whoever it is in the scene.
Yeah,
that he's
like their very
smiling at.
first scene when he comes in, he's drunk. I thought like that could have been totally hammed up. Like if Cameron Diaz gets that scene and is like, okay, you're gonna show up at this cabin, and you're gonna be drunk. She would have been ridiculous the whole time. You would have wanted to blow her brains out. You've been sorry, that's mean. You would have wanted to roll your eyes until they fell out of your skull. There, that's better.
There you go.
But with Jude, when Jude's doing it, you're like, wow, what a charmer.
What a charmer.
Of course she's going to let him in,
Yeah.
even though this guy knocked on the door late at night, and she should definitely not let him in. Let him in. He's Jude Law. He's so
Jude Law.
charming.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Wait, you haven't cried since you were 15?
I know, it must mean something awful, I know, but, you know, I try. But, believe me, but can we talk about you some more, please?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, I cry all the time.
You do not.
Yeah, I do. More than any woman you've ever met.
You don't have to be this nice.
It happens to be the truth.
Really?
A good book, great film, a birthday card, I weep. I'm a major weeper.
His favorite part of filming was working with the two little girls. He said, I had the best time with them.
Those
I don't
two
know what that
little
means to
girls?
Cameron, but
Those
there you
two
go.
little girls were excellent.
Yes.
I thought both of them were phenomenal.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes in this
Yeah, for
is
sure.
the family stuff.
Yep. And it's mostly because Cameron is just like along for the ride in that scene. She doesn't
Yeah.
have to act very much, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, don't give her hardly any lines. Just let her just kind of stand there and smile.
I think she does better when she has to just react to things.
Yeah.
Now, when she, and I say that in a sense, when she gets to react in a group versus like if she's just reacting by herself, then you get what I like to call Chihuahua energy.
Yep.
And I was kind of doing this impression while we were watching it, but for listeners, if you don't know what like Chihuahua energy, it's so, you know, her boyfriend just like broke up with her, he's cheating on her, she slams the door and she's like,
Yes.
like,
and
ugh,
you're going to think
girl.
like, she doesn't do that,
She
does she?
does, she
And what Rach
does.
just showed, what she showed you, that verbal recreation was spot on. If not, a tiny bit too subtle.
oh, thank you for the feedback.
It might be
I will
a little bit even more extreme than that.
log that away. Yeah.
Is this a bad time? No, I'm just flipping out a little bit. Oh, okay. God, okay, no, I'm okay. God, how did this happen? No, you know what? I'm all right. Hi. What's up?
It's a lot. It's a sensory overload
Yep.
sometimes. Back to Jude. His middle name is Jude and his first name is David. So, but he goes by Jude.
Oh, I did capture you were going to say a different first name. I was like, so his name is Jude Law?
Jude Law.
Oh, Jude. My friends call me Jude.
Jude comes from the Bible, but also Hey Jude.
Oh,
He was named for that song as well.
Very good.
Little combo there. Both of his parents were teachers, and his dad actually ended up becoming a headmaster of one of the schools. He got a start in theater. I think you can tell he comes from the stage.
Yep, you
primarily.
can. You totally can.
Yeah.
Yep. He has technique.
Yeah.
And I don't say that because sometimes when you say that about a person, it's a negative. You're like, oh, I can see your technique. I know I got that comment once from an acting instructor who I respect zero in my graduate program.
Before or after they said that to you?
Before and after, all around. But they were like, your technique is showing, Ty. And I was like, oh, go F yourself. I wish you knew how to act, and then you could tell me what acting is. Sorry, you're getting spunky, Ty, tonight.
You are on fire.
I am. I'm a wild man. What do you always say? I'm a salty dog.
You're a salty dog tonight. A salty dog.
So, yeah, it's so when I say his technique was showing, I don't mean it negatively. I actually think it in a very positive way. Like you can see his technique a little bit, and it's really good. Super strong.
Good technique.
Yeah.
Do you remember one of his first films? It was in '97, way back in the day.
So the movies that I first remember seeing him in, Enemy at the Gates.
Okay.
Would have been maybe 01, 2000-ish. There's that movie where he's a robot with Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out something AI.
Maybe.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep. He's like a prostitution robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, he is.
What else are you going to do with him?
Obvi.
Yeah, for sure. And then I had a third movie, but I can't think of what it is now.
I'll work backwards. So we've got Talented Mr. Ripley in '99.
Okay. I've never seen that movie.
I have not either in its entirety. I've never
Yeah?
sat down to watch it. I've seen it on TV, and I've been like,
That's
oh,
Robin
what
Williams,
is this?
right?
I don't think so. Talented
okay.
Mr. Ripley?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know what's
I
going
guess
on.
I don't know either. I don't think so. And then Gattaca in '97. Have you ever seen Gattaca?
No, I don't think so. Sounds sci-fi and fun.
It is sci-fi and fun. I don't know about fun, but it's got a very young Uma Thurman in it and Ethan
Okay.
Hawke. I don't know. Maybe that's
Were
where
they
fell
together?
in love.
Yeah.
That's probably where they met and fell in love in it. But it's all about genealogy and kind of creating the perfect
Jude Law.
specimen.
He wants to be taller. And then they stretch his legs or whatever. They give him genetics or something where he can be taller. Yep, I've seen that movie.
Okay, there
God,
you go.
it's been so long.
Yeah.
I
oldie.
didn't even remember that Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman were in it, but I remember Jude Law now.
Jude Law.
Yep.
Jude Law.
Wow.
Short king.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was one of his first films. Yeah, film debuts. But nothing but good things about Jude Law.
No, I have nothing. I can't say a bad word about Jude Law.
All right, let's say some bad words. We're going to get to Cameron. I'll touch on her, and then we'll finish up with Jack Black, and then a little curveball here. I'm going to talk about our other fifth wheel to this party, Eli Wallach.
Okay.
So Cameron Diaz, again, go back, listen more. We can talk more about her in our earlier episodes.
Yep.
But most of her films do pretty well because she makes a lot of money. She's like one of those higher paid actresses because she does franchises like Shrek. And like Shrek.
She's good as Shrek. As a voice actress, she does a good job.
Yeah, I like
because
her in that.
her overacting actually works in the animated world.
Yeah. She altogether her films have made $3 billion. So this is why she keeps getting cast. Even
people
if it's
like
for
her.
things that are
People
like
must
Bad
like
Teacher.
her.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what the people think. And the people think she deserves to make a lot of money. And so, I mean, kudos to her.
Did you remember that she almost got the role in Mortal Kombat, but she broke her hand before filming?
Yep, thank God.
I had forgotten.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep, I do remember that.
She is too. This sounds weird body wise, but she's a little too slight. I feel like
Yeah.
for Sonia.
Yeah, Sonia. They
Yeah,
went.
she
Sonia
needs to
Blade.
be like,
they went with the gal who's the teacher in Billy Madison, and that was the right choice.
Yeah, she's just is more athletic and she looks like she could throw a punch and do some damage.
Yeah,
versus
Cameron Diaz would get broken in half.
She's long-legged and fawn-like, and normally that's very preferable, but not in this one. Not in Mortal Kombat.
I've seen her dance. I don't think she's very athletic.
Yeah, could be.
Have you ever seen?
Charlie's Angels?
No.
1 and 2? Yes. Yes, I have. I think she's great in those. I have a good time. Charlie's Angels 1 is a good time.
So number 2 is not good.
But 1's a good time.
Number 1 is fun because, and her style of acting fits because everybody is just over the top. The whole movie is just like...
It's cheese.
Yeah, it's like you're watching their version of like the Fast and the Furious, like crazy shit's happening the whole movie.
That's
and
a
so
great
it makes
call out.
So like some of the stuff that's happening in that movie is okay. me. It's like, yeah, it's stupid. It's wild. It's dumb fun. And so then it doesn't matter. No, I was thinking of Gangs of New York. Have you ever seen her in that?
Yes, I have.
Awful. Some of the worst Irish dialect work you ever want to see. Go check that out.
But you know what she was great in?
What?
There's Something About Mary.
Yes.
So there you go. A young
But
Cameron
also
again.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
If the
Could
film it fits a certain vibe, then that works. But this with what's her name? Nora Roberts? What's her? That's the writer.
The writer is Nancy Meyer.
Nancy Myers.
Yeah.
But for a Nancy Myers film, she does not work. She does not exist in a Nancy Myers universe.
Who would you have cast instead of her as your quintessential Cali girl for this role?
I mean, it's tough because she would have been too old, I think, at this time, but Julia Roberts would have been a really great choice. But I think she's just a few years too old at this point. But maybe not. I guess this was around like not my best friend's wedding. This would have been around Runaway Bride, probably. So, I mean, maybe it would have worked.
Maybe. I feel like you need somebody that is a little less likable at first. I think we're supposed to grow to like the character, but she's supposed to be pretty high strung and high maintenance-y, and I don't find myself really liking her as a person until like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way in, if that. Yeah,
I was gonna say I never really liked her. So I'm trying to think of like actresses that were huge in the late 90s though, and I'm thinking of a lot of Brits. So that's probably part of the problem.
I guess we could go that way.
How about this?
The Kates versus the Kate.
I was just gonna say Cate Blanchett, but make her do American dialect.
Honestly, she would kill it. She would play that like high-powered.
Yeah, she can be unlikable,
editor.
who then becomes likable. I would have totally bought into that.
Yeah.
That's who I want. I want Cate Blanchett.
Hired.
Kate versus Kate.
Kate versus Kate.
Because do we ever get that? Do we ever get to see those two acting with each other?
Not. I can't think of it.
Oh,
if
I
we
would die.
Let's talk about Jack Black.
Yes, let's do
Myers loved him in School of Rock when she saw it.
He's excellent in School of Rock.
It's made for him. It's chef's kiss. He's wonderful in it.
Yep.
She loved how he worked with kids in that. So she actually had to convince him because he was like, I don't think I'm rom-com guy. I don't think that's who I am. I don't think I can do it. And it really wasn't until he knew that he was going to be acting opposite Kate Winslet that he was like, okay, sign me up. Yeah. I will trust the process and I will do it. So he's a sweetie. I'm not going to say like a whole lot of it. Jack Black is Jack Black in this. And so I think
it's not right for him. He knew it. And so I respect the fact that he knew it, that this isn't his world. And his Jack Blackisms just came across aggravating to me and grating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not like them. Sometimes when he was like doing some of his singy stuff, it was fine. And he tried to like tone down some of his isms. But at the same time, I just thought like, this needed to be somebody different. This doesn't work for me. This isn't Jack Black.
I didn't hate it. And by that I mean like his isms, because I think because he was a music guy, it kind of worked a little bit because he's so sing-songy, he's so lyrical, he's always singing. And obviously I love Jack Black. He does a great job in the things that he's really well versed in, like Kung Fu Panda. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He's just great. He's just he's a larger than life person. He's a lovely guy. But yeah, I would say that there were some things and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's better people out there for this. It was a whiff.
It's a whiff. A whiff and a kick and a whiff.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about Jack Black? I didn't have a lot of other things about him. Yeah.
No, I'm like you. I really respect Jack Black. I grew up off the Tenacious D album, but this was just not right. This just wasn't right.
Yeah, well, he's a little cutie. I was okay with it. Eli Wallach is our older guy in this.
For Kate Winslet?
Yes, is the neighbor.
He's been in a lot of things.
90-year-old. Yes. Do you know what he's been in?
No, I can't.
That's okay. I'll tell you.
He's the bad guy in A Knight's Tale.
What? Oh, no, not the boss. Not her boss.
Oh.
I'm talking about, that's another guy.
Yeah.
That's Rufus Sewell.
Yeah. Isn't he the bad guy in Knight's Tale?
He is the bad guy in Knight's Tale.
Sweet. Nailed it.
Yes. Okay, fun. I'm just going to go to him really quick since we're talking about him. I don't have other things other than he and Kate used to date in the 90s.
Get out of here.
Just like a couple months, but like they had a previous relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
He's somebody who, like, if you try to convince me that he's a good guy,
no.
I'm like, I've seen him too many times as a bad guy. I don't think I can believe you.
I can't.
That he's, like, actually a good person. I think, when's he going to turn evil?
always turns evil.
Because I
Look
know
at
he can't be
him.
trusted.
He can't be trusted. He's so evil. There's something about him.
Who is this Eli Wallach guy?
Eli Wallach is the old neighbor, the old guy.
Oh, the old
When I said old guy, I meant like old, like 90 years old, old guy.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
This Jewish screenwriter.
Yes, who
Okay.
lives next door to Kate.
Yep.
I just want to bring him up because, like, for one, he was 90 when they were filming this. They
Yeah.
celebrated his 90th birthday. He often had to be told that he had too much energy, so he had to like really slow down
Bring it
his
down.
walk because she's like, "You're walking like a 60-year-old right now. Like, I need you to play your age."
Too good a shape.
Too good a shape. But going back in time, he's kind of a big deal acting wise.
Okay.
Maybe I'll tell you about some of the movies that he was in first, and then we'll go backwards. He was in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Oh, yeah.
He was the Ugly.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's the ugly?
He's the Ugly.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I've not. Mm-mm.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, him and Clint are good buddies.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. I can't even picture him as the ugly.
Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
mean, he looks so different.
Yeah.
He's a 90-year-old man. I think
Yeah.
it's really hard to know,
Yeah,
like,
and
what
the
did you
ugly
look like?
has like a raggedy old beard.
Sure.
Scraggly
Hello, beard.
little scruffy guy.
Other classics that he was in The Magnificent Seven.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Also The Misfits
Yeah.
with Marilyn Monroe. So those are just some of the older movies. I think he was in Godfather 3, whatever. But he's been doing films a very long time.
Sweet.
Prior to all of that, he was a stage actor in New York. He learned method acting from Meisner in person.
So he was okay, we need to clarify.
Yeah.
When you say method acting, people think in their head one thing. They think Strasberg's method. But then you just said Meisner.
I'll get to Strasberg.
This is different.
Okay.
Meisner's method is completely different than Strasberg's.
Okay. He initially learned method acting from Meisner, and then later he was a founding member of the Actors Studio
Okay.
in New York.
Yeah.
You know when I say that, what that is?
I know
Yep.
what the Actors Studio is.
I thought so, but you were looking at me confused.
No, I'm just
Where he then studied with Lee Strasberg.
Okay, so
He's done both.
that's bizarre that
Okay.
he went that order.
Yeah?
Because Meisner is younger than Lee.
Okay.
Sanford Meisner is younger than Lee Strasberg. And also Meisner hates Strasberg. And so he makes sure everybody knows, hey, I love Stella Adler. I hate Lee Strasberg. And so the fact that he then went from Meisner up to Strasberg, who is like a more established entity in the acting world, that's a really bizarre transition. I almost would always think it would go the opposite. But it also is interesting just because they're very different techniques.
Yeah.
Very different.
Would you say maybe better where he landed then? Did you think, like, ending with Strasberg, don't you think that
No, I would do the opposite.
You would do the opposite?
I would, because if I would say get in touch with yourself and your own emotional spectrum, your own emotional capacity through Lee Strasberg's method. Lee Strasberg is all about emotional recall. When you see people who are like, they're living the character, they're like tapping into their own emotional resources in order to make themselves cry on stage. Like, that's all Lee Strasberg. That's what we know as the method.
Yeah.
And then Meisner, when you say Meisner method, people are going to think that it's the emotional thing. It's not that at all. It's all about relationships. It's about what happens, the spark of the moment that happens between two people when they're on stage. Not even two characters, two people. And that it's that interpersonal relationship. It's so much built on the like act and react that happens as we bounce back and forth as we pass messages with each other. That like going from I'm going to take my own personal stuff to now be more about my scene partner, that's the route to go. I worry if it's I know how to act with a person. Now let me get more into myself, and I'm gonna just worry about me now. It seems like it's more of like a selfish path.
Interesting.
So I would recommend doing the opposite.
I bet you didn't think we were going to talk about Meisner and Strasberg on the holiday today, did you?
No, I'll be honest. You threw a curveball at me.
See, it's not all terrible. It's not all bashing. We'll talk some good stuff. People had a lot of fun with him on set because obviously his character tells a lot of like great anecdotes about like old Hollywood to Kate's character. But they would say like even like during takes, like the crew would all gather around and he would be like, so the thing about Marilyn Monroe is like, he just was holding court and everybody loved him.
You know, I felt that way when I was in my MFA program, and I was I think 31 at the time.
God, were you that young?
I was
31.
I think when I came in, I was 31, and I graduated, I was 34, or maybe I was 30 when I came in then.
Good Lord.
Then and the 20-year-olds would just cozy up on a table, and I'd be like, "Let me tell you about this, kids."
Sit under the learning tree. Oh, all right. So exterior shots for filming were filmed on location in Surrey
Okay.
in towns called Shire, and
Lincolnshire, Devonshire.
It's just the Shire part of it.
But isn't there one of them that is Shire and it like doesn't go with the Shire
Yeah,
rule?
Worcestershire.
Yeah, you're like, why?
Not Worcestershire.
Why'd you do this?
I don't understand. Yeah.
People talk about
It doesn't follow the
English
rules.
always being confusing.
And another town called Godlingham.
Gollingham.
Godlingham.
Is it kind of like Lowell? You just needed to do it really sloppily, and then everybody, if you say Louisville, they're
Yeah.
like, "What's that? You mean Lowell?"
Lowell? Yeah, Lowell. Exterior shots were also obviously in LA. All right, so this next tidbit just came out recently.
Oh, this
And
is brand new
this is
information. Breaking news.
Hot off the presses.
E-news. Get your reporters ready. We got some breaking stories.
Jude Law was on a red carpet somewhere, probably promoting his new show Skeleton Crew, the new
Oh, okay.
yeah,
the Star Wars
film.
It's killing
TV
it,
show.
by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Skeleton
It's like
Crew.
Space
Everybody's
Goonies.
like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing since Mandalorian."
Cool.
Jude Law is amazing in it. So
Not
yeah,
bad.
he's
Not
getting
bad.
it's getting a lot of good press.
Good for him. He let something out, and then he was actually surprised people didn't know this, but the cottage
Yeah.
isn't real. It's not real, Ty.
Oh wow.
You can't drive to Surrey, England. It doesn't exist. It's not there anymore.
The cottage isn't there anymore, or it never was there.
It never was there.
What? It's a ghost
Because-
cottage?
They built it. They built the outside of the cottage. They built the
Okay.
exterior.
And then the interior was on a soundstage.
all the interior shots are on
Yeah,
sound
that
stages
makes sense.
in LA.
But I am shocked that they didn't just find a cottage that worked for all the exterior
They
shots.
couldn't find one. There were no cottages in Surrey that worked. Have you been there? Have you actually looked? It was terrible. There was nothing they could use.
What's that show you used to watch all the time? It was about people looking for homes in the country in
Oh,
England.
yeah.
It was like English countryside homes that they were looking, and they were only like $150,000,
Oh,
and
it
you're
was
like, how is
amazing.
this possible?
Moving to the country or something like that. It was on like Cozy TV or something.
It
that
was shot
most
with
people
like
don't
Sony
get.
Handycams. It was so grainy, but it was like, this is 2013, and you're like, what?
What?
Why does your camera look this bad? But it was like on primetime cable
Escape
TV.
to the country.
Escape to the
country. Oh, that is a comfort show for me. I love
It's
that
a fun show.
Nothing makes me want to escape to the country more than that show. Yeah.
So they should have just got in touch with those people. They
I
knew
know.
all the cabins
Nope.
and cottages to use.
It was easier to spend 4 days building the outside of the house and then 2 weeks set dressing it on the outside, just so
Wow.
that it looked like it had been there 1,000 years.
Just feels like a location scout could have got a lot of this figured out.
Yeah. Not only did they build the house, they had to build the fence, the wall
Yeah.
fence that goes around it. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And then to build all the
Nancy Myers had
interiors-
FU money.
She did. I think when you look at, because I mean, this is before her track record really starts to like go like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. What are you doing there? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with all the money? I mean, this is the Parent Trap queen. Like she could do no wrong, so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think her interiors are spotless. $1 million to build the interiors in LA.
Wow.
Yeah, just the interiors.
Okay.
For shots.
So they shot the exteriors on location in
They did,
Surrey.
yes.
But then everything else was LA.
Except
Interiors
for
for both
some of the other places in Surrey were also used. Like a tavern
Yep.
was used. The exteriors there.
They didn't build a tavern.
I don't think they built that
Wow,
tavern.
they cheaped out.
But maybe the restaurant, they built the inside of that, so that's possible. But the outsides, all the outside stuff was done
Okay.
on location.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's scooch on down now. Let's talk about some scenes, shall we?
Yeah.
Some scenes. Some improvising.
Oh,
Here and there.
Really?
Yeah.
That is shocking.
Is it? Would we say?
I can't believe it. Yeah, there's scenes where you can tell the actors were literally put in a space and they're like, just have fun.
Just like go
Why don't you
crazy.
guys
Like
just-
if you were gonna do a dance, what would that
Why don't
dance
you guys
look
just
like?
have some fun right now? We'll just capture it. Oh my God, this is great, you guys. Like, no, your actors don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just like dancing around, doing stupid shit, like repeating movements over and over again because they're lost. They don't have any active things to do. And so this scene is lifeless.
lifeless.
It was.
Yeah.
There was
I
one
know.
I'll point out. There's a
Go
scene where Cameron Diaz and Jude Law are outside, and it's like snowy daytime, and there's a bunch of steps, and it's like a big kind of courtyardy area to a bigger house. And you can tell they had multiple cameras set up, and they're like, just have some fun out there.
Just go play.
And so they're just like running around doing stupid shit, and none of it makes any sense. It moves the story along 0%. It's all just wasteless garbage.
It's them falling in love.
No, it's not.
You need to see them falling in love in the field.
Because they didn't know what to do. There is no falling in love. Like the actors literally are like, oh, well, how do we fill the space? Is what it is.
Sure.
It's a waste.
It's a waste.
It's gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook. In the blockbuster scene where Jack Black starts like singing different songs to like the different scores, I guess.
Yep.
That was improv.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which actually I thought was like one of the cuter little bits in there.
Yeah.
It might go on for too long, but
it's too long.
Yeah.
It is too long. Yep. And yeah, in some of the films that he picked up, like the scores that he talks about or whatever, like I just didn't think any of it really, I don't know. Some of it didn't land. Like some of it was really good.
Yeah.
And some of it didn't really land. I was like, what's the point of this right now?
Okay, driving Miss Daisy, Hans. Very unexpected. Do you remember how great it was? Roodle-dee-doo, scroodle-dee-doo, roodle-dee-doo, sassy. Love it. Is this a bad game?
No.
Okay.
Keep going.
Sometimes I get self-conscious about my guy. Ra-da-da-da and scraddle-da. Are you embarrassed by this game I've started to play? Okay.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman's cameo was kind of improv.
Okay.
He saw that they were filming across the street at a Blockbuster, and he just like walked over. He's like, "Oh, what are you guys working on?" And he knows Nancy Myers, and she was like, "Oh, Dustin, come here. I have something for you."
Yeah.
And they just like wrote him in real quick.
Sweet.
Which I thought was cute.
Yeah.
He was in there for like the little graduate scene.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Napkin Head was improv.
I liked Mr. Napkin Head.
Yeah, that was.
Thought it was
Explain
cute.
what that is.
So the little girls are like, Daddy, we want to see Mr. Napkin Head. Please, Daddy, please do Mr. Napkin Head. He's like, no, I can't do that, girls. No. And then finally he's like, all right, I'll do it. And he throws on the napkin over his head. It covers his whole face. He kind of looks like Bane from the Batman series, if you know who Bane is. And then he puts his glasses on the outside of the napkin, and then he like puts a little spoon in his mouth. He's like, what is going over here?
He's like, "Oh, I'm smoking. Smoking's bad for you. Don't smoke." I don't know. Clearly improv.
It was clearly
Ran
improv because
out.
the dialogue is terrible. But I liked the whole visual of Napkin Head, and the little girls were having a blast with it.
Yeah, the little girl is saying like, "It's so funny. You're gonna fall off your seat."
Yeah,
That was improv.
That was really funny.
So the kids were so
The
good.
kids were excellent.
They were so
Because
good.
one was like a little precocious, and then one was like wide-eyed, like the widest eyes you've ever
like,
seen in your life.
I like your eyeshadow. I like your lips.
Yep.
What's it called? Berry kiss.
Yep.
Amanda,
Yes.
you smell lovely.
Do I?
Yes, I love perfume, but he won't let me wear it.
Because you already smell so good. So do you, by the way.
Thanks.
We never have grown-ups here that are girls. I know. I really like it. Me too.
So cute.
It's honestly the only time in the film that I thought Cameron was likable because like these little girls were in love with her so much. I was like, well, if they love her,
I guess I could give her
they're
a
a
chance.
good judge of character, I think. I trust them more than their dad.
Oh yeah, can't get over. Favorite scene of the whole thing was
very
the
cute.
The little girls. They're the best. They're the best things in this.
Yeah.
Besides Jude Law's cuteness. That'd be second. There is a line about a boob graze that was
Yep.
not improv because that sounds really bad, but was inspired by something that happened with Nancy Myers and Jack Black. So Jack Black accidentally one day while they were talking reached over and accidentally bumped her boob and was like, "Oops, sorry for the boob graze there." And she just thought it was the funniest thing because usually she says men, when that happens, like don't acknowledge it and they just pretend like they're like, "Oh,
That's what I
excuse
do.
me." Yeah. But she said just Jack Black being him, like he was just so endearing and just like funny about like, oh God, sorry, boob grazed you there. Ah. Like,
Sure.
She thought it was so funny, and she's like, I need to write that in. That's great. I love that.
So he did that to Nancy?
Yeah, to the Nancy Myers.
Oh,
yeah. Mhm.
I thought he did that to Kate.
No, Nancy
Oh,
Myers,
okay.
and she loved it so much that then she wrote it into the movie, and so when
For
he's
that
reaching
scene.
over
Okay.
in the sushi scene, he's reaching over for something. He's like, oh, sorry for the boob graze there, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jack Black, so fun.
Yeah. But how come she couldn't just write for Jack Black? Like
I don't get what
if
you
she
mean.
wanted it to be Jack Black, like I wrote down one of the notes I had was like, Nancy, you gave Jack Black the worst dialogue ever. Like he had lines that he had to deliver that just like felt so forced and so unnatural coming out of his mouth that like he couldn't save them. And
Yeah,
and
that's
part of
fair.
it's not all on Jack. Some of it's on like Nancy. You kind of had a shit script. And it was hard for some of your actors to deliver these lines. Like I even saw Kate Winslet struggling with some of the lines.
Yeah,
It was like,
she struggles.
this
at
is
times.
I don't know how you deliver this line and make it natural. Kate, you are a 10 out of 10 actress and you're trying to figure it out, but even you can't make it land all the time.
Yeah, fair.
Shit
Let's
script.
talk about some other scenes.
There was this scene where they're chatting with each other online. And that scene goes on for like 5 minutes, and it could have been like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It goes on forever.
Yeah.
As they're chatting back and forth, and they're like saying what they're chatting.
Well, they have to be friends, Ty.
I
They
know.
can't just be girls.
I get
They
it.
have to be friends.
I get it. But it went on for too long. The pacing in this movie is bad. This movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes,
Should
I
be
agree.
an hour and 45 minutes. It goes on for way too long, and little moments like that add up. And so you have bad pacing because things go on for 3 minutes too long. Some of the scenes with the old guy and Kate Winslet are too long, like when they're working out in the pool and they're like doing all these little things to like get him in shape. It's like, why?
Oh,
Why can't you just be like,
when he fell underwater?
hey, we're going to get you in shape. And it's like, cool, we get that he got in shape and he's ready to walk now when he goes up those steps. You don't have to show up, like you don't have to spoon feed us everything. Everything is being spoon fed or told to us rather than shown to us in a way that was like we're children. We are adults coming to Nancy Myers, not children.
I would say with the older stuff, though, I feel like they had to have more in there to just show how important that relationship was.
Yeah.
And how she's improving on a relationship that's not a romantic relationship. So I think some of that I do get. Yeah, we can't tell you to lose weight, but like we need you to tighten. Just
tighten it up.
Tighten it up. Ooh, just tighten. Yeah.
What'd you think of Kate Winslet waking up and deciding to all of a sudden turn into like a rock concert in the bed, and then she's like strumming the pillow like a guitar? I was like, Nancy, why did you do this? Like this, Kate is trying her ass off right now, but this is such bullshit right now that you're giving us.
What are you talking about? I do that all the time. Every Saturday morning, I always wake up with
It's
a
okay
concert.
to have a moment where she's super excited. Like she has that when she first comes into Cameron Diaz's place, and I thought that was all really natural. But then you have moments where she wakes up, like when you just wake up, the first thing you're going to do is be like, yeah, rock and roll concert, baby. Woo! Oh, I'm strumming my pillow like a guitar. It's like, it's all just stupid.
All I can say is, I guess you don't know women as well as you think you do. Because we do that sometimes. Sometimes we dance crazy.
Look.
We put a song on and we just go crazy.
Everyone knows this about me. I've been with a lot of women. Nobody,
you know women.
Nobody knows women like I know women.
Yeah, I think it's a rom-com, and that's what rom-coms do. We dance, we have silly pratfalls, like there's physical comedy, for better or for worse, like that's the genre. That's the genre.
But a lot of times I buy into it, and I just don't buy this at all.
Yeah.
I sell. I don't buy. Did you think that Jude Law and Cameron Diaz had good chemistry?
Only with the will of Jude Law willing it and pulling her over the finish line. I think later on I thought they had better chemistry.
Yeah.
It took them a while, and it was usually when she was not talking as much.
Yeah.
But overall, no, I wouldn't say.
I would say until the little girl scene, I wrote down, I think I would rather watch Jude Law falling in love with a broomstick than Cameron Diaz.
Ooh, shots
There was
fired.
no chemistry. And it felt like I felt the same thing that you did. Like Jude is giving it but it's not being received and not sent back. And so then it just seems like he's on an island. And part of it is written wise because like there'll be moments where they go to kiss and she breaks out and she does their little
supposed to be
spazzy
neurotic.
thing.
I think the neuroticism is annoying.
Ooh, neuroticism.
Yeah.
It sounds so sexual.
Isn't that
neuroticism?
Didn't I use
I
that word
think that
right?
works.
I think so.
Neuroses, neuroticism.
If you're neurotic,
Yeah.
they're the neurotic. Actually, you're right. I don't know if
I think it's
is
just
the word.
neuroses, but I like
whatever it is.
But this
in Cameron's, it's neuroticism.
For Cameron, I like that that's what they were going for was neuroticism.
Yeah, well, it's exhausting to watch sometimes.
It is. It is.
Anytime a character is high strung, it's exhausting.
And it cuts out any sort of relationship building. They cuts them out right at the knees, and so they're never able to like establish a relationship. And it just it takes way too long for me to buy it. They're giving so much effort into trying to make me buy this relationship, and I never really bought it.
Yeah, and I never bought it.
I never bought it.
I never bought it. Yeah.
I did think her reaction to the kids like made no sense when she meets the kids, Cameron.
What do you mean, at the door?
Yeah, but I didn't until she's like, "Tell me right now, are you married?"
Yeah,
and
you didn't think that's
no, I didn't think that at all.
She thought she was the other woman the whole time. We're supposed to think
I got that.
Okay,
But there's multiple women that she's mentioning that she's heard of.
Yeah.
And so I thought like, well, you're not the only other woman.
Yes, that was the
there's
question.
like multiple girlfriends probably.
It was the fact that like there's a little girl coming to the door and she's thinking, "Oh my gosh, are you married and have kids? And are you having an affair with me versus are you just messing around with me and other girls?"
Sure.
That's the part where she's like, "Oh my God, where's your wife? Is your wife in here? I don't want to be a part of this."
Yeah.
Like, that's what she's looking for.
Yep, I know. It was just a confusing choice.
Sure.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Very good. The couples didn't get to see each other until they just did the final scene, which actually was one of the first scenes that they filmed.
Yeah.
So they kind of filmed it in reverse. They had the New Year's Eve scene where they're all dancing around and having a great old time.
Yeah.
Who knows how this is going to end? Do you have any ideas? Do you think everyone's going to just like move to England together? Is that what happens? Like, where does everyone end up here? Or do you think that Kate moves to LA? Because she needs to get away from England.
I could see them just switching.
Yeah, just flip-flopping.
I actually could see them switching and like they go to they live in each other's houses. Like they do the switch forever.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I could see that.
I love it. I kind of wish that was it.
It felt like Cameron was going to have heart palpitations every time she left that house. And so I was like, well, I don't think she's leaving. I don't think she's going anywhere. I think she's in England forever. And whether Kate comes back or not, I think kind of depends on if she wants to. But I could see her being like, no, I'm not going back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like LA. She's kind of made a group of friends and stuff.
Yeah, old 90-year-old men.
Yep, 90-year-old Jewish
Has
guys.
a good time with them.
Who used to be in the industry back when it was way better than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfect back then.
Yeah, the golden days.
The golden days.
When everything was right. Right as rain.
I told Rach, let's talk about the golden days of Hollywood. Are you ready for this now?
Yeah, go for it. Hit it.
We're talking about the golden days of Hollywood when women made $1 for a movie and when we could sexually assault everybody on our casting couches and never get in trouble for it. And and then he was like, yeah, I knew I was there back before the studios had taken over. I was like, so you were there in the 1910s?
I mean, he is 90 years old, and this was in 06, so
he
not
said
that far.
But he said he took over.
He was a baby.
And he was 17 years old. That means he was in the 20s, and we were already to the big studio system in the 20s.
What year is this? I'm so confused.
And
was
so
this supposed to be in the 80s?
He was there when the studios were literally running the business like a mafioso family. And so what are you talking about, the good old days?
Good old days. It's just the romanticizing of Hollywood,
We sided with the Republican Party, and we became a weaponization of politicization for them, and we helped try to fight against FDR and the New Deal and what he was doing with theater. And we're like, no, F theater. You want to do film like Republicans and big business and capitalism. Come on. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
It was always corrupt. It was never a good old day. That was like the 1910s when people were looking into little scopes and like, oh, cool, moving pictures. This is fun.
Nickelodeon. Very cool. Well, I have some more random facts. Do you have more scenes you want to talk about before I get into my final facts?
Do you want to talk about Cameron Diaz's final run?
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about that. Segues into one of my facts. Do you want to know how long that took her to do that run? How long it took them to film that run, I should say?
Too long.
Yeah, too long. How long do you think would be too long to film that run?
I'm going to say they spent a whole day on it.
More.
No, that was a multi-day shoot?
More.
Just for the run?
More than a multi-day shoot.
Multi-week?
1 week. It took them a full week
Why?
to get that shot.
So, okay, just
the running across the fields.
She is running back to Jude Law after being taken away in a car.
Yep.
And there's tons of different shots, and she gets stuck on about 4 different fences. She has to take a breath, has to stop and pause and take some heavy breathing and then keep running.
Yeah.
It's not funny at all. It's supposed to be comedy, but it's awful. And it's just a waste of everybody's time. And
waste.
It's
it's the grand gesture, Ty. It's not a waste. We need a grand gesture.
Guess what other movie has a lot of running and it's not a waste at all? Christmas. Love Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? That running, absolutely
also
worth
probably
it.
took a week.
Good. It was worth it. Absolutely killed it.
Diaz said that she ran 7 miles a day in heels in the mud. She said it's the most in shape she's ever been on a shoot, just having to do that over and over again.
Well,
that was hilarious.
It was not hilarious.
No, I would agree.
Waste.
Twas not hilarious.
You agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't hilarious. Was it needed? No. But I can't even say a but because she gets literally stuck on. She has the same reaction twice when she gets to 2 fences. She stops. Big dramatic pause.
She hits
unlocks
three
it.
fences.
3 fences, but 2 of them she has this weird
same.
Here I go pause. That's the final door pause. You did it twice already, and it's too much.
Yep. You want comedy?
Too much.
Go to Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
Another door. Another door.
Part
That's
of this
comedy.
problem could be because Myers is notorious for needing multiple takes of the same stuff. By multiple, I mean they would say that she would want 7 of something, and she wants you to do it pretty consecutively because that's how she wants it.
Yeah.
And then if you change anything about it or make a different choice, then she wants the 7 of that as well. So
that's so aggravating.
I think so. I don't know that I love that as a directing style.
Yeah. Didn't her and Jack Nicholson butt heads on
probably
that set?
Who doesn't?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so
he'd be like, 1 take. You get it.
He's like, I'm 1 take Jack, baby.
Like, Jack, you can do 2 at least.
No.
Just to make sure you didn't slur your words.
No, not me. I'm 1 take Jack.
I'm Jack. You know what? Like younger women, 1 word. Skin.
Oh, yeah. Gross. Here's Johnny for you.
Jack Nicholson, quote.
So No, I'll just keep it there. You're fine.
No, say it.
Oh,
say
I
it to
lost
me.
what I was going to say.
This is a safe
It was
place.
about Nora, and it was about her directing style.
You mean Nancy.
Nancy.
You're thinking
Nancy.
about Nora Ephron.
I know. You're totally right.
Keep her good name out of this.
I will. I'm so sorry.
We like Nancy too, but keep her name out of this as well.
Nancy's directing in this movie made me question her directing in other movies. And I felt like she has too much power over the edit. And so...
Well, she wrote it, so yeah, that would make sense that she would edit, but have a lot
somebody
of say.
in the editing room needed to be like, Nancy, this is too long.
Yeah.
Here, let me cut this run sequence in a way that will be palpable for the audiences when they come and watch it, digestible for them. And then they cut it and they bring up this new thing and they're like, what do you think about this? And Nancy's like, no, I miss all those scenes that we spent a week on. It's like, no, you can't think about it that way. You wasted that time. That's on you. But let the editor do their job. And their job was to cut this movie down to 1 hour and 45 minutes and trim the freaking fat. I think there is a much better movie, not a good movie, but a much better movie that's on the cutting room floor.
And it's not the director's cut.
Not the director's cut.
Because that's probably what we saw was the director's cut.
No,
You're thinking.
we had an opportunity to watch the TV edit. That's only 2 hours.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
it
With
would have
commercials.
it would have just cut out Jack Black's 1 F-bomb, and then it would have cut down some other things. And in hindsight, I'm like, maybe we should have done that. It's probably a better movie.
Maybe it would have been less blurry. Prime Video, you guys.
Oh, it was
Why
awful.
is it streaming so terrible lately?
It was
it's
just
so
that.
grainy.
We looked at a different one, remember, and it was fine.
We didn't look at a different movie. We looked at trailers. The trailers were fine, but we never opened anything.
Yeah, even the trailer for this one was kind of wonky though too. Yep, I watched a Prime Video recently. It didn't look that bad. It was just holiday.
I have not noticed it until today, but I was astonished and bewildered, and not in a good way.
Wow.
2 negative ways. Speaking of Nancy Meyers' old films like The Parent Trap,
Yeah.
who was in the trailer for one of the movies that Cameron Diaz was editing, fake in her job.
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. And you want to know why she did it?
Because Nancy Meyers?
Because she owes her life to Nancy Meyers.
Sure,
and Nancy
yeah.
Meyers told her that. She was like, you owe everything to me. I need you to do this. And she's like, okay, whatever you say. This is 2006.
I was like, do you
too,
think
so.
Nancy Meyers would still do that to Lindsay Lohan?
Oh, she would do it now. Did you not know, like, Lindsay Lohan has had, like, a resurgence?
Well, yeah, Irish Kiss.
Yeah, but, like, even just, like, her life, everything is, like, it seems better. Like, not movies, like,
Everything's
whatever.
coming up roses.
Everything is coming up roses. Her skin has never looked better.
Yeah, she looks great.
She looks great. She has, like, unaged because
Yeah.
she ran with a rough crowd in the early 2000s, probably around the time that this was filmed. She
Sure.
was partying and drinking hard and drugs, all the stuff. And so she's kind of like done like a 180 and has gone backwards in time. Not, I would say, from an acting standpoint, like she was better as a child, but I think she knows her new niche, and it's Hallmark movies.
Sure.
Or Hallmark-esque like movies, and she's going to make a killing in it. But yeah, so I do think Nancy Meyers would use her again. Long story short. Also, who else was in that? James Franco, but we don't care about him.
Nope.
Boo.
Canceled.
Canceled. You can stay canceled for all I care.
There she is.
For all
This
I
is
care.
the brutal rage that I like to see come out. Give us a rage raid.
A rage raid. Here's a rage raid. I miss blockbusters.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing this
yeah.
blockbuster in this film made me miss blockbusters.
And all the movies, you could just go and just look at
peruse.
covers.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's one thing that you realize, like, oh, I don't really get to experience very often, is, like, a cover. Because even on, like, Netflix and stuff, sometimes they're just, like, a tile. And it's, like, it has to be, like, an image that got messed with in a different way. And a lot of times it's a different image than what the movie theater poster is. And so, like, to be able to see movie video covers, to be able to see, like, how many of, like, oh my gosh, there's 50 of this movie. This movie must be pretty good compared to, like, oh, this movie just came out and there's only 10. Like, this is less of a big deal. It'd be really cool to see.
I missed it. They did have to pull all of the Kate Winslet and Jack Black movies off of the shelves when they were there, just so that the two of them could walk around in the blockbuster, so there wasn't any crossover there.
Sure. Yep.
But-
Were they all Universal films since that's who distributed?
Wow, I don't know. That's a great question.
I wonder if they were.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe yes. Probably yes. Probably all the film scores that they talked about all had to be within their lot. They wouldn't dare talk about anybody else.
Jaws is Universal.
Jaws is Universal. What about we don't know about The Graduate.
No idea. There's no Graduate ride at Universal Studios.
Nobody knows
I
about
don't know.
that one.
Can you imagine if there was, though?
Very cool.
A Graduate ride? You're on the trolley at the end of the movie with them.
It's hard. I'm having troubles. More scenes that you want to talk about before I segue to music?
No, let's talk about music. That's actually the last thing I have still to talk about.
So I want you to tread carefully when you're about to come in hot with this music. Do you want me to go first and tell you more about the music, or do you want to just come in blind and tell me what you think unfiltered?
What do you want?
I want you to tell me what you think unfiltered.
The score is terrible.
Okay.
The score, I don't care who did it. It doesn't matter if you did you did a bad job on this one.
There's a main theme song that I really like from this one. It's
Sure.
Like, it all sounds like a Downton Abbey song.
Okay. Yep. That would be nice. More Downton-y, like, inspired stuff would have been good for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just thought the score was just weird. It was just bonkers. And
we're talking about the score, not like the,
soundtrack.
the Nancy Meyers.
I'm not talking about Imogen Heap. I'm talking about...
Yeah, we would never say that about Imogen Heap.
Even though there
her.
was a very strangely timed song that started playing with Cameron Diaz and Jude Law, it was...
Oh, yeah. I feel like I had that same
and then
gut
it
feeling too, like,
transitions
ooh, weird song.
into Jack Black and Kate Blanchett eating sushi, I think. And
Yeah.
the song is just weirdly placed and oddly timed.
Is it Let Go?
Maybe.
Let go, there's beauty. No, that's a different part.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
It
not
starts
that one.
really
I thought that was
weird.
an odd spot for that one, too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
So there's weird music placement throughout, but I think the score is just odd.
Do you want to
Discombobulating.
now guess who made the score?
Is it somebody I absolutely love?
Well, I mean, most people
Oh, okay.
know this person.
All right.
Yeah.
John Williams?
No, not John Williams.
Okay.
Give me another one.
Is it Hans Zimmer?
Yes.
He did.
Ah.
He did the last Nancy Drew movie, didn't he? Nancy Drew. Nancy Myers.
You get her name right. It's beginning to be offensive. It's like Kamala. That's what you're doing right now. I want you to know that. We will not stand for this. Say her name.
There's a lot going on in this movie and in the world right now.
Nancy Myers.
Miss Myers.
Miss Myers
I think he did the last one.
The Something's Gotta Give?
Hans Zimmer.
Maybe. I don't remember. Honestly, I have to go back.
Okay, he's at least done some movie that was very surprising that it was him. It might not have been that one. It might have been a different one.
You know what? No, I think it was, because I remember thinking the same thing, like, wow, Hans, huh? Like, the two of them, I think they're buds.
Hans doesn't always hit it out of the park.
Game respects game. They're both at the peak of their peaks, and sometimes that's not a good thing.
So yeah, this was a major whiff.
No, that's too strong. That's too
compared
strong.
to Hans's other stuff. Are we kidding me? Go listen. Just do me a favor.
You do me a favor.
No, you do it first.
I want one favor first, please, and thank you.
Go. Just put on the score.
I will.
When you go for a walk
I'll do
on
it
the
tonight.
treadmill
we can
later
both
tonight.
listen to it.
No, I want it in your earbuds.
Nope.
I don't want to hear
I'll blast it on the TV. We can all listen.
Blasting it. And tell me that the score is not just weird.
I'm going to sneak it in to some instrumental mix sometime.
Don't you mess with my instrumental.
And I'm just going to wait and see what your reaction is. If you're like, what's this song? I like this song. Yeah, you do.
Well, at least it'll be like, well, that's Hans, so that's good.
Hans, and there's another person, Heitor Pereira.
Okay.
I just went for it.
Maybe it's Hatos that I don't like as much.
Heitor Pereira. Told me just to attack it, and I tried to attack it, and I thought that was better.
This is better
than trying to
last
work
week's.
through it.
Yep.
That's hard. It's very reading it's hard. Budget. $85 million for this. Opening weekend in the U.S., which was December 8th, 2006.
Yep.
It made $12 million.
Okay.
This opened number 7.
Wow.
Around the Christmas time, which you think is also like, whoa, hey.
Yeah.
But here's what was happening in the world in 2006. We had the first place that weekend was Night at the Museum.
Okay.
What a time to be alive.
Night at the Museum is a good time.
That was a good time. And it was the first one, too. So it was extra magical.
Ben
Robin
Stiller was
Williams
killing it,
in
too.
that one. You asked about Robin Williams earlier. That's when he was in.
There you go.
Second was The Pursuit of Happiness. I thought that was a lovely movie.
Pursuit of Happiness is awesome.
Sobbed during that movie.
Yep.
Happy Feet was also
Good
up on the
time.
charts. Charlotte's Web. All those were all above.
Never saw that live action Charlotte's Web.
Was it a live action Charlotte's Web?
2006? The original didn't come out in 06.
Then
We watched it as kids.
No, yeah, I know that. I guess in my head I pictured a cartoon again, but it's...
No, it was a live action
It's live
one.
action.
Yeah.
I never saw it either.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think the original is lovely, so...
So this movie, does it ever get...
You would think maybe it has the card stacked against it. If it's opening at 7, it only made $12 million, and we got to make up that 85. But, Ty, do not fret. This received worldwide money.
Good.
Not acclaim, but money. And today its cumulative is $205 million.
Awesome. I'm glad to see really poorly constructed movies make their money back. That's what I dream of.
That's the Cameron Diaz effect, baby. You want to jump on that $3 billion train, you jump aboard. Let's go.
What?
Cash cow.
Should I add Bad Teacher to my summer's off list? Because you've never seen it.
Honestly, maybe. Maybe. Because
You'd
then
be
our viewership would
for
go
the ride of your
crazy. It'd be wild.
Yeah.
We'll just,
Everyone
get
will
that
be
effect.
shouting at their radios when they listen to my hot takes on it. They'd be like, "You're wrong, Ty. You go to hell."
No, that's what they're doing right now. They've already turned it off.
Yeah, it's true. They
had enough.
They said goodbye long ago.
I tried to warn people. I tried to start it with a little bit of
my husband's coming for you.
Hey, just so you know, sorry in advance. Sorry. Okay, so I have some reviews.
Okay.
Other things as well that you want to talk about before I do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I have nothing left to say.
Yeah, but we'll see about that. Richard Ropert says, "The surprises would be surprises only if this is like your 4th movie ever."
Nice, brah.
Coming in hot. The BBC. This romantic comedy ends up feeling soggy, syrupy, and so bloating, it'll put you to sleep before the pudding's done.
I love these reviews.
That's so British, too.
It is.
The pudding's done.
Before the pudding is done. Because we all make instant pudding over here, but over there, they're baking it.
No, I was gonna say it's not. Do you know what they're referring to when they refer to pudding?
Like
It's
blood,
not. It's not like chocolate pudding over
like
here.
blood pudding, sausagey pudding.
No, it's like bread. It's like a. Yeah, no, we didn't. It's. We'll Google it after this. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Mix them tonight.
I mean, I don't know how to make it.
You're gonna have to figure it out.
It's not the same.
I know. It's in the honor of the holiday. You're gonna make some pudding tonight.
And then the Guardian says
More Brits.
I leaned heavily into the Brits.
I love it.
I want them to know.
They're cheeky little effers over there, so I always love leaning on the Brits.
He says the holiday's redeeming feature, and it's a considerable one, is the 91-year-old Eli Wallach astute and endearing performance. So
Okay.
actually, they were kind of kind to him
Sure.
on that. Some awards. It won the Teen Choice Award for Chick Flick. Can I get a
Really?
chick flick? Teens say, yes, you can.
It's surprising because for teens, I imagine this movie to be more for like 20-year-olds than teens. I feel like teens wouldn't really like this. They'd be like, oh, I'm watching Blue Crush. You know what I mean? Not Blue Crush. That's a bad example. I was trying to think of the movie where...
No, I liked it.
Blue Crush works. I was thinking of like Jessica Alba and Paul Walker in that one beachy movie.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever that was called.
They'd be like, oh, I'm too busy watching that. That's the best chick flick. The holiday. Those are for like my mom.
Maybe. MTV Movie Award, it got nommed for Best Kiss, but it didn't win.
Good.
I don't know who it lost against, but it didn't
that
win.
kiss was not best kiss.
Which one?
Any of them. Any of
Yeah,
the Jude
I
Law,
agree.
Cameron Diaz kisses, because that's what got nominated.
Yeah,
Those
I
weren't
don't
best
know.
kisses.
I don't know.
There's no
maybe.
steam there.
There was steam from one end of that pipe.
Yeah, I know. He kissed her eyeballs.
Yeah.
He's working his ass off over there. He's smoothing her hair. He's kissing her eyeballs. And there was nothing.
Fighting for his life.
He's fighting for his freaking life over there. And Cameron is doing nothing.
Critics' consensus. While it's certainly sweet and even somewhat touching, the holiday is so thoroughly predictable that audiences may end up opting for an early checkout time. Rotten Tomatoes?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to guess?
I'm going to say this is a 40%er. 45.
An audience?
72.
You have the dynamic correct. You're off just about 10 each way.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes official score is 51%.
Okay.
Audience score 80%.
What? Ugh.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, you ready for me?
I think so.
Okay.
Unless you want me to go, but I think we're all waiting with bated breath for you.
I know. I'm trying to.
Are you moving
I'm
my
trying
mic
to
towards
move-
me?
No, I'm trying to I'm
Do
trying
you want
move
me to keep
my
talking?
microphone a little bit away.
Are you gonna shout something?
Okay.
All right. Use good mic technique.
I know. I'm trying. I'm gonna try. The holiday is skibbity boop bop bop bow of a film that makes you want to scream. As Cameron Diaz is ba 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 bow wow wow. This film is a If you thought that was a very grating review, that's what this film was for me. 14% tied with It Takes Two, below Jingle All the Way, which needs to be raised. We all know that. and also below Christmas in the Spotlight. Christmas in the Spotlight. This is above camp, by the way.
Yeah, throw him back.
Christmas in the Spotlight is a film I would rather watch again than this one.
Shoot.
This movie, I'd never want to watch again. I'm done. If anybody puts it on, I'm going to check out. I might read a magazine and be in the room with it, but I probably won't. I'll probably leave the room.
So what else is new?
I don't ever need to engage with this film ever again.
Well,
it's a
you're
waste
not
of time.
invited. I'll tell you that. Next time that we get our cozy little hats on and we like try to make shape this like little Cameron Diaz cozy cottage night where we get all of like the tasty treats and we sit under like our little blankies and we pretend to like have a fire. You're not invited. You're not invited.
Okay.
This is not for you.
Okay.
You can't come.
It's good to know.
Good. to
But yeah,
know.
14%er.
Wow.
This is. I even thought about going lower, but I was like, between that and
don't
camp,
be cruel.
between that and camp, I
Come
would be
on.
being vindictive.
Yeah, I mean, because that punishes everybody. It's like a class project that you just failed everybody. And not everybody deserves Fs, Ty. Not everybody deserves to have to sit and write in the corner for 5 hours. Some people were acting their asses off. They tried.
You're right. And guess what? I wrote it in a moment before we met Jude Law.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Black, I think, had just showed up at the house to try to get a laptop from Cameron Diaz, his old boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had met him once. But I wrote, before meeting Jude Law, this movie is currently at a 10%. We'll see what happens when the boys get here. And Jude Law raised it 4%.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive.
Well, I'll tell him that next time I see him.
Because the rest of the movie did not get any better. It stayed at that 10% level, and he single-handedly brought it up a few percent. It's really phenomenal effort.
Ugh, harsh. So harsh.
What do you say?
I say, first off, I didn't want to do this film because I knew that it would be so divisive.
Are you worried about the blowback?
Yeah, I mean, word, like, it's coming.
Maybe this
I'm not worried.
Maybe
like,
this
I'm
is
just
a bonus
ready
episode.
For it.
Maybe we hide this one behind a paywall. If you want the holiday, just know it's going to be a little divisive.
Yeah, because that'll go well.
So if you pay us a couple bucks, we'll send it your way. But otherwise, this one's going to be locked behind doors.
No, let the people gotta know. And they have to be honest with themselves, too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they give this is a rotten movie that people love. And
People
that's
love
just what it is. It is a contemporary holiday classic for better or for worse.
Yeah. And like
with
I
all
said,
of its warts.
This isn't the only Christmas movie that people adore that I come for.
Mm-hmm.
It's really one of two.
Well,
The Family Stone gets my ire as well, almost as
Yeah.
strongly as this one does.
okay.
That I'd say overall performances are all better in that one, and that has a normal tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the story of that one is just stupid. Like I hate the plot of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's dumb. But I come for that movie too. So
Yeah. I was going to let you, like, not bring that up, but
we'll get to it later on
here
down
we
the
are,
road. Yeah.
Telling everybody,
Don't worry. I'll
tune in for that episode if you love that one. Do not do that.
Sty will destroy
You're
it.
going to come for it. Yeah, I think there are a lot of Christmas films that are technically rotten. Like, even, like, Home Alone, we did that not too long ago. And I think that's a rotten film, technically, which is wild.
Yeah, it might be. Love Actually is.
Love Actually is rotten?
I think so.
Oh, my
It's either
God.
like it's
What?
slow if it's fresh.
We did that one, too.
Yeah,
can't even
and I
remember.
love Love Actually.
You do. Why wouldn't you?
What do you think about this movie?
I agree with the critics. I have this at a 52%. So I
Okay.
have this under Beverly Hills, because that was a good time.
True Beverly Hills
True
is so
Beverly
fun.
Hills was fun. And then over Godfather 2.
Oh, okay. This is over Godfather 2, huh?
Yeah, it's just where it lands.
Yeah. I mean, I
It
don't
is
like
what it is. I had to do it.
By the way, Love Actually is 64%, Home Alone is 66%.
Okay, I lied. So
But
I
no,
lied.
but
So
low,
there it is.
But low fresh.
Slightly.
Yeah.
What is fresh again?
Right? Was that a serious question or not? What do you think fresh is?
Well, it's not 64, because that's what it used to be back in the day.
Always gets confused at what the line is. What is the line, Rach?
7, 6, 5.
Can you just guess?
No, I can't, because I'm terrified to make a mistake.
No,
you
go
have
ahead.
made it a hostile environment.
No.
It's too scary.
This is a very forgiving environment. You're in a safe
Well,
place.
I always want to say 64, but I know that's not right, and I don't know why. 64 feels like that'd be a good spot.
You think 64 would make it fresh or
Yeah,
rotten?
fresh, and then everything
So
below
63 is rotten.
that.
And 64 is fresh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's 60% is fresh.
Well, it's
59 is rotten.
Huh.
It's much easier to figure out than what you think of it
I
as.
don't know why I always have a tough time remembering that.
I was like,
Genuinely
hey,
serious. I
you're-
don't know
you're
why
in a very
I
safe
think that.
space right now. That's crazy. There's no way it would ever be that.
There's
That's
something
wild.
about. Okay, here it is. Oh, you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
What is it?
standard scores
Uh-huh.
that I report on for my job.
Okay.
65 is the cutoff score for something being at-risk behavior.
Uh-huh.
70 is something that's clinically significant. So anytime I get a 64, it's like, oh, that's like average. It's on the higher side of average. There's something about that number. I think that's why that sticks with me.
Gotcha.
I've never pieced that together until now.
Okay.
But then again, I'm saying that out loud, and it's like, well, actually 60 is at risk, so maybe.
So think about it that way.
Yeah, okay.
60,
I gotta
at
redo
risk.
this. I'll be
At
better.
risk of being a great
New
movie.
Year's resolution, I'm going to be better next year.
At the
Ty,
Rotten
what's-
Tomato
What's
scores?
your, just in general, I'm going to be better.
My New
And
Year's
you?
resolution is I'm going to be more me. Even more.
More?
If you liked what you heard today,
And we know you did.
and we know you did, then prepare for even more of that. More of me. Is that pretty good New Year's resolution?
I love it. Yes, more you.
You're gonna be more better, and I'm gonna be more.
I'm
me.
gonna be more better, and you're gonna be more you. That's what it is.
This sounds like I can hear some divisive territory alone there. Oh my gosh. So what's the New Year's movie?
No, Ty, please. He got one. He got 2 movies out of me. I'll be honest, friends. I wasn't gonna do this.
Rach
one.
was done
I
after
was
the
ready
Hallmark
to
one.
be
She's
on
like,
vacation.
"Hey, we're not doing a second one. We're done." And I was like, "Come on."
It's the
what
last
about the
week. We're getting
holiday?
ready to go into Christmas. Like, I just wanted to be done. But I had such a good time doing our last one, and then all of our equipment was set up still, and I thought, let's just do one more. So fun.
So if you had to watch another movie right now, between the Hallmark movie, Christmas in the Spotlight, versus The Holiday, what do you pick?
I pick Christmas in the Spotlight.
You would.
You know what I pick? I pick Spotlight on Christmas. I haven't seen it yet, but we talked about it a lot. Now
We
I'm
did.
intrigued.
But Christmas in the Spotlight, you just watched both these movies within the last week, and
Yeah.
you picked the Hallmark movie, but you rated this one, The Holiday, over the Hallmark movie.
I did.
Just to throw that out there for our listeners.
But a part of that is because I just watched it. I don't want to watch it again.
But you just watched Christmas in the Spotlight.
That was last week. That's a long time ago. And it's significantly shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps too.
It was interesting.
And I want to learn those songs.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff going on in that. I'll be honest, definitively better movie in my opinion. I'm not even kidding. It's a better movie. And I know that's such a hot take.
It's a wild take.
Yep.
Very good. Listeners, thank you so much for listening in this year, 2024. We love you guys so much.
We love you.
Who knows what's
We love you even if you love this movie. We love you.
We still love you.
And
and I hope you love us still.
Yeah.
We're
and
sorry.
I think that your tastes are amazing. I think you're a great human being. I think that you have a great vision of what art is and how you take in cinema.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being mean. I'm trying not to be mean.
Well, then stop.
Well, I'm just trying to really push it.
Yeah.
That we still really, really care about you.
We do. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Mic check. Mic 1. Mic 1 check. Checking. 1.
Are you ready for this?
Check mic 1. 1. Check mic 1. 1.
Gosh, you never sounded more ready. I'll be honest. I don't know why I asked you
I
if you're
don't know
ready
why
for
you're
this. You're
asking.
freaking ready for this.
I'm a professional, baby. I'm ready. Let's go.